in their driveway?
I have no idea, haven't seen them in a long, long years.
Okay. Well, I'll call them and ask them. Hi, Scotty.
Hello. Looks like
Scotty?
we've got our two faithful people. Hopefully, we'll have some more people pop in. So let's get started. Daryl, what have you got this evening?
I've got a calendar question on birthdays.
Okay.
I try to keep a lot of my clients in my contact list, and I try to put their birthdays in there because insurance agents like to acknowledge people's birthday and they like to know how old they are.
Yeah.
But sometimes I want to take them off of the calendar that they show up on,
Yeah.
and without taking them out of the contact list, I can't get the calendar to go away.
Right. I don't like that birthdays method, but basically, here's what you're looking at. With your contacts, you have the ability to enter in my contact, my birthday. And then within the calendar app will extract the birthdays information from the address book. So under calendar, and I should have restarted before I started tonight, so I might be a little lagging. But if you go to calendar preferences, and you probably know this already, you go to calendar preferences, let's see. Here you have the ability to show or not show the birthdays calendar. So that calendar preference right there will extract the contact information that's in address book and put it into here. But it's all or nothing at all. So every birthday that's in there, including your plumber's, maybe if he sent you his V card, the plumber's birthday, everybody's birthday is in your contacts if you entered them, especially if you synced up with Facebook and Facebook contacts are in there. So you might end up having a lot more birthdays in your calendar than you want. So for me, I turn this off. I don't use the contacts birthdays information into my calendar. What I might do instead would be to create an individual birthday calendar. Just a calendar, like a unique calendar. You can see here I've got home, private, that kind of thing. Make a birthdays calendar and then just assign in the people that you want. Now, if you have a large number of clients, then going to their contact information might make a little bit more sense. But basically, you can't unselect which birthdays you want to see if you're extracting them all from the contacts. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Is there a way in contacts to add a new field and call it birthday?
You could add a note, but you can't. I don't think you can add a field on its own. Let me find.
Is there a use find field in contacts?
Let's look. Let me try to. I'm going to pull it up here in a second, but I need to make sure I don't reveal hidden people's information. Let me see if I can find my own. Give me a second. And you can look while we're at it on your own as well. Okay. Okay. So here's my information. Let me see if we can add a field. We would go to edit and
Plus sign.
yeah, I don't think. See, because this extracts out as it's
There's a date field that you can add under more fields.
what kind of field did you say?
A date field under more fields.
Yeah, you could probably do that.
Hit the plus button down the bottom.
Yeah,
I'm pointing to it.
yeah,
Can't you see it?
I'm seeing it too. Yeah, I'm seeing it. Yeah, I don't know what date would do. Anniversary, and then we have the ability to talk. Okay, there you go. So you have anniversary and then other, and you would customize that. So you could say customize. I want to call it birthday or whatever you want. But that information may not extract into your calendar program.
Well, that's okay because the ones I don't want to show up in calendar, I'm going to keep the date in the user defined thing. Where did you see anniversary?
When I added that field, then you can click on the left-hand side. You're looking at my screen, I guess, and then I have an ability, or I could do custom, and I could say kidney stone removal.
Right.
So, all right.
Gotcha, okay.
All right.
Okay, so you changed the heading of the field.
Yes.
The,
Yeah, but like I said,
Okay.
I don't think that information is going to extract into the calendar.
so the ones I want to keep in there, I'll put in the birthday of the contact, and the ones I don't want in there, I'll take that user-defined field and put it in there.
Yeah, you could do that. That might be more work than you want. You might just want to create, just throw a note in there and just put a note in. In other words, put it in the notes field possibly. That'd be faster than going through and creating this this extra field. That's whatever you.
And the extra field has to be created in each
I don't
contact?
know. Let's find out. I've got another one up here. Looks like
I
it.
think so.
Looks like it might, although I haven't closed the edit session yet. Let's go over here. Let's see. Plus sign, new field, date, and I'll put 9/14. Well,
I'm lagging pretty much here, Scotty. I don't see where you're working.
I'll catch up in a second, I guess. Let's see, done. Okay, I've added another field to this card. Now let's see if that field applies to a different card. Anniversary. No, you'd have to add it to each one, I think. Or,
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
that's
edit.
correct.
Yeah, you'd have to add it to every one. Because here I'm trying to edit a
So
second.
it'd be better to put it in notes.
I think so, yeah. And just do your quick cut and paste kind of thing. All right, let's jump to Joan. Joan, what have you got for us here?
Third week in a row, no questions.
Wow, we're batting 1,000 for Joan. All right, well, if you've got one, we'll come back around. Natsuko, all
Okay.
right, Natsuko, do you have a question this evening? Natsuko has muted herself, so we're going to jump over her, and we'll go to Rex, who does not have his microphone turned on yet. Rex, you might be using. There you go. Okay, we can see you, Rex, but we can't hear you yet because I don't think your microphone is enabled. If you can hear me, okay, then
How about now?
yeah,
Can you
good.
hear me now?
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, what do you got?
So, remember when you and I worked on because I allowed that other computer in our other playroom to mess with my iTunes. All my songs were gone off my iPhone, and we did a procedure to get them back on, just kind of a resync, whatever we did.
Yeah.
However, now all the songs are on there, but now they're all just showing that cloud icon, and I'm going, man, do I have to go down through every song and have it download off the cloud?
Are you
Or is there
using?
some massive way to hit?
Well, are you using iTunes Match? So go follow me on your phone. All right, I've got my phone in front, so you can look at the phone on the screen.
Can you see that?
No, it's
See
just
how, like,
yeah. I see.
there's
Yeah, I see.
cloud there?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. But we want to check first to see if you're using iTunes Match. So go to settings, and when you go to settings, let's go down to iTunes.
So settings on the phone.
Yes, yeah, and I'm looking at here on mine. And if you select music or iTunes and App Store, either one. But if you select music, you'll see over here whether or not you have iTunes Match turned on. If iTunes Match is turned on, you're not syncing anything from iTunes through a cable. It's just giving you the inventory list of what's in the cloud. In other words, the songs that you own and have permission to download to your phone a la carte. So is iTunes...
Well, I see where it says it's got a little
Yeah.
blue thing saying subscribe phones match.
Okay.
iTunes.
All right, so...
So would that be an assumption that I don't have match?
Right,
now?
then it's off. So here's what's happening then. While you might move over Bob Dylan's greatest hits that you purchased 5 years ago and you downloaded to your computer, that Alicia Keys song may have been purchased within the last year or 2 years or so, and it may not be included in the playlists that you synced over within iTunes. However, Apple gives you the ability to see all of your purchased music on your phone. In other words, they will give you some iTunes Match functionality without paying for iTunes Match. And that functionality applies to the songs that you purchased within iTunes. So that Alicia Keys song you bought, and that's why it's shown as a cloud. In other words, hey, well, you paid for it, so we'll let you download it. Now, if you wanted it to be there permanently, then you could either hit the cloud on the phone or go over to the computer and choose a playlist that Alicia Keys' song that's already downloaded in iTunes is in, and then transfer it over.
All right. So you're saying that it well. So you're saying if I permanently if I touch that cloud that I just showed you, it will download onto the phone.
That's correct. Yeah, because that's a purchased
Is
song.
that the only? Right. So is that the only way to listen to it?
On that phone,
What's another-
no, there's another way.
Yeah.
You could go back to your computer, find that Alicia Keys song or that group of songs, and make sure that they're either downloaded already or go ahead and download them on your Mac, and then you could transfer them over the wire to the phone itself. So
Okay.
what it's showing you right now, Rex, is a list of songs that you did not sync over, but that are purchased. So let's say I've bought 4,000 songs. Maybe not that much. Let's say I bought 1,000 songs in the iTunes store over the history of my life. But I only synced one playlist with 20 songs on it onto I just want to go running every day and I want to listen to the same 20 songs. I don't care about anything else. And I look at my phone, but when I look at my phone, all of a sudden I see a listing of those 4,000 songs. And I say to myself, why are they there? I only synced a playlist with 20 songs on it. They're there because I purchased permission to download those songs for the rest of my life, and Apple is showing us those songs here. Look at this. Look at the sentence right here. All music that has been downloaded or that is stored in iCloud will be shown. If you uncheck that or turn that off, it's possible that Alicia Keys song, the ability to download that Alicia Keys song will disappear.
I see.
I believe that's the answer.
So iTunes Match is, I guess you pay for that then.
Yes, you pay $25 a year, and what that does is that not only gives you access to the songs that you've purchased, like Alicia Keys, but the songs that you stole or the songs that you took from a CD in the early 2000s. You imported all those discs at one point in time, and now you have a library full of songs. Apple says, you know what, we have that same CD. You didn't buy it from us, but we see you have it. So since you have it, we will add that to the list of songs that we give you permission to download. But if you don't pay that next year, we will turn that list off. You still have your music, but you just don't have the ability to download it from us.
I see. Well, it looks like as I'm syncing now, I'm back to my cannot be synced because there's not enough free space to hold all of the items in iTunes. 10.56 gigabytes are required.
That's
I
probably
thought we had.
well, no. That's probably because you're syncing your entire music playlist, your entire music library, and not just an individual playlist. So I'm trying to open up iTunes here with your phone connected and iTunes open. Left-hand corner or left-hand side, you're going to select the iTunes. You're going to select the iPhone. Then across the top, you're going to go to music, and that's probably where you are now. I'm basically stalling until my iTunes opens up. Then when you select music, you have the choice of either syncing your entire music library to the phone or pieces of your music library. You're probably selecting the entire music library. Can you follow where I'm
Yeah. I mean, there's only 490 songs.
Okay, so now then if you don't have enough space, next thing we need to do is figure out what's taking up all the space. And I know you and I have talked about pictures in the past. But if you want to follow along with me right now to check out how much space you have, you go to Settings on your phone, or you can do this within iTunes as well. Let's do it on the phone first. Settings.
Okay. Yeah.
Go to General. Go to About.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah.
You're going to see Capacity and Available. Capacity, what's the number?
57.1.
All right, so we round that up to a 64 gig iPhone. And how much do you have available?
3.3.
3.3 gigs. All right, so not a lot. Probably not enough to put on your entire music library if you have a lot of other stuff. Now, pictures...
Scotty, I think that's the problem is that most of them are still showing a cloud. They're not downloaded onto this phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and those don't take up space until you download them. But there is another...
Right.
There's a bigger picture here. There's something that's taking up all the space on your phone. What is it? So if you look at photos...
Yeah, I got 3,318 photos.
All right, now, we still got to get those
Which
off.
normally have 25,000, but all I checked was the last 12 months.
Well, that's still enough. That's still a pretty good deal. Maybe not 64 gigs worth, but that's still a lot. So what about videos? And applications. I know you're a big application user. In other words, we got to find out what's taking up all the space.
Yeah.
Let's jump over to your. I'm going to jump over to your screen with iTunes open. So if you don't mind, we're going to look at your screen
Sure.
because iTunes will also give you a visual breakdown of what is taking up all the space.
Yeah, no problem.
Or as my favorite wrestler of all time would say, what's causing all this? I can't say any more than that because his lawyer. What's that,
The
Daryl?
Ultimate Warrior died, Scotty?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. If you guys want to see something interesting, go on YouTube and look for last Ultimate Warrior promo. This Ultimate Warrior was a big wrestler in the 1980s and early 90s. He was just inducted into the Hall of Fame last Sunday. The following Monday, and he hadn't been on television.
He was on TV, right?
Yeah, he was on TV and he hadn't been on TV in years and years and years. And he came out and he did a little speech of about 3 minutes talking about death, basically talking about what your life means and this kind of stuff. The next day he died. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. So check that out.
Last Warrior?
The Ultimate Warrior, last promo, probably something like that, or you'd find it pretty quickly. Rex, we're looking for your screen. Have you given us permission to see your screen yet?
It hadn't popped up. Let's see.
I'll send it back over again.
Scotty, I'm really slow over here.
It might be me. I'm
still looking at your phone.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah, that's
too.
what I'm looking at.
It's probably my computer. I've got a really I needed to restart before I started this process today. So yeah, it's all my fault on my end. But anyway, Rex, to kind of go back through, if you look at iTunes at the bottom of the phone, and I'll do it on mine. At least I'll have this recorded. Then you have a breakdown of the data that's being taken up by your phone, or what's on your phone. So you see that little bar at the bottom when you have the phone selected in the left-hand column?
Wait a minute. What are we talking about? The phone or the Mac?
The Mac is looking at the phone. So look in iTunes. In the left-hand column of iTunes, you'll select your phone, and you see.
Yeah.
Okay. Once your phone is selected, over on the right hand or on the bottom area, you see a long sort of a bar that's got different colors, and those different colors have different sizes. What is the largest size color?
Photos.
Yeah.
Photos are orange.
All right. And what percentage of that 64 gigs is taken up, would you estimate, of pictures? Over 50%?
It says 19.57 gigs.
Okay. All
When I
right.
put my mouse on it.
So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago because I've actually gone back and looked and pointed people to the YouTube video that you and I and everybody in Town Hall a couple of weeks ago did, where you and I went through iPhoto, we imported the most recent pictures. Then after those pictures were imported, we found the button to erase the pictures off of the phone because you don't need 3,500 pictures on your phone. Did you do that? Do you remember us doing that?
Well, I think I had more than that. It feels like maybe I just chose last 12 months thinking it would be a smaller number, but
You're a big
obviously
picture
it's
taker.
not.
Yeah. So take off more pictures. Obviously, you need to free up some space. If you want more music, you have to make room by taking off other pictures.
Yeah. So uncheck last 12 months, right?
Yeah, and then that bar should drop down at the bottom.
Oh, it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's 9.01 gigs.
Okay. So you'll sync your phone, and then you'll have a little bit more space. And you may go into music then, and when you go into music, you can say, don't sync my entire library, sync only, my custom playlist that I choose.
Yeah. My playlists are completely gone. The ones not all of them, but most of them are gone. And I think that happened when I made the mistake of on that other computer.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
they're
one.
gone off of your phone, but they're still on a computer somewhere.
Oh, the playlist would be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Let's see. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's on my iTunes here.
Yeah. So your phone is designed that if you drop it in a lake, like I did, you're not losing things. You're not losing your playlist and stuff like that, really. While Rex is looking at that, Daryl, did you have another thing we wanted to kind of address?
Yeah, I have another situation, and then I have a question first thing is reminders. Now, you told me reminders are emails, correct?
No, notes are emails.
Notes
Notes are
emails. Okay.
yes.
Reminders don't seem to be syncing for me.
Okay, let's go look at reminders. Reminders are generally going to be assigned to like your iCloud account. So if we go into reminders, okay, let me look at a couple things. First, on your phone, where do you enter most of your reminders, Daryl? On your phone or your computer?
On the computer.
Okay, so the first thing we need to do is look at system preferences and on the phone settings. We're going to look in both iCloud areas because I suggest we use iCloud to sync reminders. So in
So you want to go to the phone?
go to the phone and go to settings and then go to iCloud. And we want to see that reminders is turned on to sync. Then in system preferences on the computer, you're going to go to iCloud and you're going to make sure that
Reminders are turned on the phone.
okay, let's go to
I
iCloud.
want to go to system preferences.
Yep.
iCloud. Okay.
And then you'll see reminders checkbox there.
Reminders is turned on.
Okay. That's where your reminders are going to sync to. Now, think there's any other area, any other account that no, iCloud is syncing reminders. I don't think you're associating reminders to an email address. Let me check that real quick. I'm gonna open up my reminders. While we're waiting on that to open, Joan, did you have anything that you could think of?
No, my only problem with reminders, mine sync through 4Gadgets just fine. But why? And I've written to them, can't you print it out? When you print it out, you need a little microscope to read it. That's a stupid thing because I have probably 40 lists, and I like especially the shopping list to be able to print it, and it can't. It's really dumb on that part.
Yeah, we've talked about that many times. Well, I tell you what, Joan, here's what you need to do. You need to write a new reminder program that prints, or write a script. You could.
Oh, sure. You're way over my head.
Well, there you go. Write a plugin. You could be the first person to solve this problem. I don't
know one thing about
Scotty, where's it when you need him?
I know he could do it. He could do it.
We haven't seen him in over a year.
Daryl, as far as I can see, I think that iCloud is the only service that's gonna sync reminders. So just try turning them off and turning them back on again. You could also log out of your iCloud account on both devices. You're not going to lose anything. Log out of your iCloud account, log back in, and see if you can kickstart those reminders to start again.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think
All
of
right,
to do.
and the follow-up to that was on October 8th of 2012. During one of our sessions, I asked you a question about iBooks,
Okay.
and you said you did not know anybody who could help me with an iBook. Is that still true?
I know companies that do that, but not individuals. And now you could build your own iBook. They have the iBooks builder that's not too hard to use. If you can use Pages, you can use iBooks. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah.
I'd rather have somebody help me.
Well, there are companies that specialize in this. See, when you're building an iBook, generally you're not distributing out to one person. You're not building a book so that I can send it to Rex and he can see my family vacation. I'm building a book so that I can sell it, make some money off of it, which means it takes money to make money. So there are companies that specialize in creating iBooks. Basically, the same companies that specialize in creating EPUB versions of books. I can point you to one of those companies that I know of that could do that. But that's not going to be cheap. What is your ultimate goal to get this iBook created to send out to people you work with?
Yeah, I have three books that I have in mind. Basically, a compilation of emails for one of them, business ideas for another, and I don't know what the third one is.
So with Daryl, with this, set of material that you're talking about, is there any interactivity? Is there anything clicking, moving around, or is it just text?
It's mostly just text, and I want to put pictures with it.
Then what I would do, Daryl, is not worry about it being created in the iBook builder. Just save it as an EPUB. Pages will do that. Now, once you've got your format, let's say your book in Pages is 300 pages long. Okay, go up under Save and export it as an EPUB. Now, once you've got it in EPUB format, then you go to Amazon or whatever distributor you want to try to sell the thing through or publish it through. They want an EPUB version of that material. So you already have the tools to do. You don't have to learn iBooks to do it. Just write it like you would in Microsoft Word. You could even write it in Microsoft Word if you wanted to, and then copy and paste it into Pages and export it as an EPUB. I just don't know if Microsoft Word gives you the ability to publish as an EPUB format. EPUB is a format like PDF, Doc, EPUB.
Right. But EPUB, I can't put a cover on it, and I can't feel it and touch it and present it or whatever.
And you really wouldn't
Correct.
do that with iBooks either. iBooks is a digital. It's a digital format. The whole reason that iBooks program exists is so that people will buy my digital version of that, and I can put it on one of these devices. You could probably print it, but
Okay, then maybe I'm not using the right word in iBook. What is the program that Apple has that you can produce books with? Hardcover books or softcover books.
well, I guess you could do it with iBooks, but you could also do it with Pages. But obviously, you're not going to be able to publish this yourself. You don't have a printing press with hardcover bound, wrap, spine. You don't have that. So you would take the EPUB version of that, or even the long Word document version of that, and send it to an actual physical publisher. Apple doesn't publish books. They publish picture books through iPhoto, things like that. But they are not going to publish your book and sell it.
Maybe it's through iPhoto that I can put picture and text in.
Yes, you can, but we're not talking about long. We're not talking about 60 or 70 page books. iPhoto books are more for 10 pages, 20 pages of our family vacation. It's not for, I need to sit and read all about this topic. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. So it's iPhoto, not iBooks.
iPhoto is a photocentric program that is used to create photo books. While you can put some text in, it's not the kind of thing that you're going to stick a bunch of emails and long paragraphs and things into. You're just not going to do that. Not in iPhoto. So you can do it. I mean, people do it every day. They use Pages and then they send it to the publisher. You find and there's publishing houses. I think even Amazon will do it, where you can order one book at a time. I have a good friend of mine who publishes books on Amazon, and if I go and I buy his book, Amazon prints it a la carte. They print it as it's ordered, not here's 300,000 books and we'll sell them all. He has none in existence, and when I order one, it gets printed out. But for you to get that relationship with them, you call them up or you go online. They're going to say, we want the EPUB version first. Send us the word, that kind of thing. I'm going to jump back.
Hey, Scotty?
Yes. Yeah, Rex. Go ahead.
Just to finish up for me. So I guess I tried syncing. It needed there was 9 something gigs left, but it needed 10 to do it. So it popped me back. I don't know if you could see my screen. It looked like the sharing button came through, and I hit share. I don't know if that.
Yeah, I see photos.
But finish up with Daryl first.
No, I see. Let's move back over here.
I'm fine, Rex.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I'll finish.
fine.
Let's hit this a little bit, and we've got a couple of other people that have popped in as well. So yeah, you've got that photos area down at the bottom that's taking up the most amount of space. You are syncing selected albums, of which there are still more. Here's what I think. Oh, 3 most recent events.
I unchecked this last 12 months,
Yeah.
and I synced it, and it said I can't sync it because
You don't have enough space.
you need 10 gigs and you only got 9.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to what we talked about a couple of weeks ago. You need to get these pictures off of the phone. You've got 3,500 pictures on there. And remember my mantra. Can anybody repeat my mantra? iPhoto takes the pictures off. iTunes puts the pictures back on. iPhoto gets them off, Rex. So for you to get these pictures off of the phone, the easiest thing to do is to go into iPhoto and import the ones that you've taken. Now, we talked about this before, and so it's actually recorded in a prior town hall, but I'm going to walk you through it again, just verbally. You go into iPhoto with your phone connected. You choose to import pictures. Now, you may have just taken 15 pictures today or 2 pictures today. After you have imported those few pictures off of the phone, it will ask you, it'll pop up a window and it's going to ask you, would you like to leave them on the phone? Would you like to delete them from the phone? Now, remember, we have a blue button and a white button. The blue button is the one that everybody always selects because it says keep them on the phone, but that's not what we want to choose. We want to choose to delete them from the phone. So, after you have deleted them, and only after you have deleted them, then you get the new button at the bottom that says remove all pictures off of the phone, and that's where you need to get to. So you have 2 pieces of homework. After the phone shows up here in iPhoto, import the ones that you've taken recently. It might be 100, might be 40, whatever. It might be 150, doesn't matter. Import those. But then after the import is done, choose to delete those. Then you get the button at the bottom that says remove all pictures from iPhone. That's what you got to do.
Okay.
So there you are. You have 110 to import. So you'll import those. After those are imported, then you will delete those by hitting the white button, not the blue button. Then you got the button at the bottom.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
I'm going to jump over.
Okay, got it.
I'm going to jump over to see. Court is in. Court, can you hear us tonight? What's your question?
Oh, I'm just listening. I am the one who emailed you. I'm a friend of Marguerite, so I'm just kind of listening to what people are doing.
Okay.
I've got
Well, great.
my computer's so wacky right now with all that malware or whatever it is
Yeah.
that it's just jumping around. I'm afraid to even import pictures, to be honest.
Now,
Thank you, everyone. I got to run.
all right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Rex. Yeah. So
Hey,
yeah,
Rex.
you can yeah, if you when you're
I kept
ready.
reading stuff about extensions and stuff that I should delete extensions, but I didn't know if they were talking about Windows.
Yeah, you're probably crossing things up. Generally, while there are extensions on the Mac, those are not things that normal human beings, normal users are going to use. To be kind of at the risk of sounding rude about it, I can do it, but I don't think you should go in and do it. Now, we don't know each other yet.
Right.
But normally, I would never recommend to somebody that I don't know to go and do something like messing around with system preference panes and things like that. But I would bet strongly that your issues are less severe than you think they are, and that there's something else a little bit more simple going on. And actually,
Okay.
the people in the meeting tonight would probably all agree with that too. There's not really a malware threat on the Mac, knock on wood, thank goodness. Now there
Yeah,
are.
I mean, I've had this.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what you had to say.
Well, I've just never had a problem with it. I mean, we've been using Macs probably 10 years, and this is, I've just never had a problem. And all my other ones are running. I mean, everything else seems to be fine. I've got some syncing issues, and I'm not maximizing iCloud since they converted to iCloud.
Yeah.
But like I said in my email, that's kind of my long-term project. But immediately, I mean, I just got all these hyperlinks on every page I pull out. Every search I do, it's just, and the page is jumping around, my mouse is jumping around. I don't know what it is.
Well, I would suggest that after you've created a little list of about 10 or 15 items, schedule a session with me, and I think I pointed you on my email on how to do that, and then I can get over to you, and we can, if you have that list, I usually work pretty fast. Sounds like you, in other words, it's almost like we don't know where to start. So since we've not met with each other before, that might be the best thing to do.
Okay, so do I dictate how long to schedule, or do I just push a time?
No, you can choose an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours generally. So yeah, you might. It sounds
What
like
would
maybe.
you recommend?
It sounds like with what you're talking about, maybe an hour and a half, and I think we get a really good sense of what we need to do from just that. I don't think we'll need to go beyond that. Not the first time.
Okay.
Plus, you might get tired of me. Speaking of getting tired of me, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you to the club this evening. Straight from the hard streets of San Francisco, we have Emma Day. Emma Day, what's poppin' tonight?
Hard streets of San Francisco.
I
Where
just-
did that come from?
I just had to choose a city.
Just
You're the world
decided I
traveler.
was in San Francisco. Well, I might as well be on the moon because I've destroyed this computer again.
I hope
I
that's
have
not true.
I've used up the whole hard drive. They're 999 whatever's off.
No,
It's full.
no, I do not believe you. And the reason I don't
Yes,
believe you,
it
Emma Day,
is.
no, is because I just put in a 1 terabyte hard drive for you 2 months ago, and it is impossible for you to have eaten 700 gigs of data within 2 months unless you have
Well, I
gone.
don't know. I have 10,000 pictures
Nothing.
and they seem to be all on my hard drive.
That's nothing. 10,000 pictures is
I
nothing.
don't know. Well, you tell me why it's going crazy. It is going crazy.
All right, you see a
It's
request
not
for us.
doing anything right.
All right, you see the request, Emma Day, for me to look at your screen? Will
Yes.
you push that button
please
for
look
us so
at
we
my
can see
screen.
that? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prove that you are a liar, that you are telling us
Uh-huh.
you are lying about this hard
Good.
drive.
I want you to prove it. This time I want it to be proved.
All right, so click that button for us when you can
I
here.
thought I did.
Hadn't happened
Now
quite yet.
here's the button. Show my screen.
Yes, make me the presenter. That's what we want to see. We're all waiting with bated
I'm
breath.
gonna love this.
All right, let's see it.
I don't know how I did it. I thought I had an appointment with you this afternoon.
No, I don't have you.
I don't know where I made an appointment with somebody. I don't know who it was.
Maybe the plumber.
Anyway, they didn't come. That was good.
Okay, Emma Day, we see your screen there. So the other thing I'm going to do now, Emma Day, is ask if I can control your screen. So now you'll see a request for me to look at your screen.
Please do.
All right, did you?
I want to take it and throw it out the
All right,
window.
did you just click that button? Did you click the ability
I
first?
did.
All right, I don't have
I
control of your
thought I
screen.
did. It's not working.
Well, you might
Do I
have.
have to open it? Do I need to open the picture part?
Open the picture.
The camera? The
No.
camera.
You have a little dialog box that just popped up on your screen that says give control to Scotty.
I did click that. I
clicked
don't
that?
know where it is.
Okay, it
now.
could be our internet connection. It could be slow. Yeah, it's probably that. All right, Emma Day, because our connection is kind of slow tonight, I might not be able to help you the way I want to, but I bet you anything that your problems are not that bad. Can you?
What if I open it? It's awful slow.
Yeah, we're about a minute behind. So I don't. In other words, our town hall tonight is so slow. I don't think we're going to be able to work the way we want to here. Court, usually this is a lot faster. Usually we're cranking through and I can control everybody's screen, but we're having
Oh,
a
I
really,
see.
we're having a really.
What about share my webcam?
That's fine. You don't have to, Emma Day. But I think I should have restarted my computer before I started this. I can see by your time, Emma Day, we're looking at 7:36, and it's actually 7:38 in real time.
You're right.
Yeah. So we're behind on your screen, so I don't think I'm going to be able to help you the way that I want to. But Emma Day, you were scheduling me. Is that correct? Correct.
Yeah, I was trying to do it for today, and I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon sometime. So I don't know if you've got any time. So I'll look on your appointment.
Yeah, as soon as we get off of here, I'm sure that I have times available for the morning. So if you want me to get to you first thing in the morning, I'll be happy to do that. And Emma Day, for you and for you only, and anybody else listening, I guess. If for some reason that's booked early, if you want to get me a little bit earlier, just email me and I can get over to you at like 8 a.m. if you really
Oh,
need.
Lord, have mercy. No.
Hey, Scotty.
Yes,
Scotty, I want to know where the women are tonight. I don't see any women on the screen.
You know,
I'm here.
Excuse me.
no.
Yeah, excuse me.
What Daryl's talking about is turning your cameras on. See, Daryl's got his camera
I
on.
got mine on.
Yeah, it must be our connection. We're having a really bad connection here. Daryl, you're just throwing
Oh
salt.
wait, maybe mine's not on. How do I? Let's see. Share my webcam.
Yeah, if you say share my webcam, aha, there you are, and there's Joan. Yeah,
Hello.
great. So we can see each other, but we can't control the computer like we need to tonight. But anyway, Court, welcome. I'll call you Court because that's your name that you've got up here. Court, welcome to the town hall.
Yeah.
This is an off week, and just to kind of let everybody know, what I've decided with these email reminders, is I'm going to do an on week and an off week. And Joan, as you know, on an off week where I don't send an email reminder, we have maybe 7 or 8 people, something like that. On the weeks that I do send an email reminder saying, hey, we're going to have town hall tonight, we have upwards to almost 20 people. But it's so interesting. Over the last couple of days or the last week, I get the nastiest emails from people saying, why are you emailing me? Why are you sending me an email? I do not want your email.
No.
And then I get emails from people saying, why did you only email me like 3 hours before the town hall? You should email me on Sunday and on Monday to remind me. I'm like, so what I've decided is I'll send out
Meanwhile,
reminders.
you're like offering this as a free service.
Yeah, you get what you pay for. But yeah. So anyway,
You could do what the stores do.
what's that, Emma Day?
They just keep putting it back on when you delete it. So
Oh, well, what I've decided is I send out reminders twice a month, basically once every 2 weeks, generally. So not to be too intrusive of people's. People are very sensitive about the email that they receive.
Why?
I don't
You
know.
just hit delete.
I know.
They are.
Huh.
People are. But also, though, some people, Joan, and you know this, some people perceive emails that they don't necessarily recognize right off the top of their head as some sort of invasion or, someone has broken into my email. I deal with all kinds of people, so I understand.
But Apple Mail does a really good job of getting rid of spam. I get very little junk
Yeah.
with
Well,
Apple Mail.
So does Gmail, actually.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah,
very
right, but it's filtered also by Apple Mail.
Yeah.
What do you do if when I was going through emails, I got an email from someone I know, but the email itself didn't make a lot of sense. It was asking for money, number one. It was a friend of mine that was stuck in some island somewhere.
No.
In her words, so what do? It was in her name,
Yeah.
so that's not malware. What is it? I don't know how they can name and send it to me.
Emma Day, you call Scotty and I will come over and get the money from you and
Oh,
deliver
Right.
that.
good idea.
Uh,
What do I do with that? Send
Okay.
it to
Call
her.
Scotty and I.
well, that's a
We'll-
I'll call you. Bring your boxing gloves.
That's a great question, Emma Day, and it's actually a serious question, because people all the time say to me, who would ever order drugs from this Canadian pharmacy of the spam that I get? But it doesn't cost these spammers one dime to email. It doesn't cost them a cent to do this. So if they send out 100,000 phishing emails saying, please go and buy this drug from this company that's across the border in Mexico or whatever, and 3 people do it, then that made a profit for them. So what this particular person is doing,
Free business.
there are different levels of this. There are the automated ways where hackers will write a program to break into, let's say, an AOL account, because an AOL email address is very easy to compromise. They'll break into an AOL account. They will extract the contacts that a person has in AOL. Now they have 40 or 50 emails that they know are live people. So then they send that out. The worst thing in the world that you can do sometimes is actually respond to somebody that sent you an email that you don't know who it's from, because you have just proven that you are alive and that you read the email, and that makes you 10 times more valuable. Now, what they're doing is they're doing sort of a social phishing scam where they're preying on your sympathies. If a person gets into an AOL account, let's say, and they realize that, Emma Day has emailed somebody named Scotty. All right? There is a relationship between Emma Day and Scotty. So they email me because they've got my email address because they broke into your AOL account, let's say. Then they email me and they say, hey, Scotty, this is Emma Day, and I am in Argentina, and now this is right where they lose it. If they were smarter, they would be a little bit more careful in the words that they choose. For instance, Emma Day, what if I wrote you? And I said, Emma Day, I'm in big trouble. You and I go a long way back, and I don't want you to tell anybody, and I don't want you to mention this to anybody, but I'm having some severe relationship problems right now. My wife has taken me for everything that I've got, but please don't mention it. I really don't want it to get out to the world. If you could just put $200 in my PayPal account, I will pay you back as soon as I can. Emma, you might actually do it, right? And I would write, please don't call
Probably
me.
would.
Don't call me. Don't call me because I don't want my wife to even know that I've reached out to anybody. I don't, you know. By the way, this is kind of, well, I won't say anything. This is recorded, so I won't say anything. But Emma Day, if they were
I haven't called this person. I haven't talked to this person in 3 or 4 years.
right,
So how would they say, send me money, get me out of this country?
right, you were smart. You were smart enough for that. So what I'm saying is,
I don't understand it.
if the person that we're doing that, it's not your friend. It's somebody that's broken into your friend's email account, is what I'm saying. So if the person that broke into your friend's email account were smarter, they would use more sympathizing words. They wouldn't say, I'm stuck in some country somewhere. They would pull on your heartstrings as best they could. The problem is they probably have a language barrier where they might not even speak English themselves, and they're just cutting and pasting something in that somebody else wrote. And so most people don't fall for that. But when I say most people, if they sent out 100,000 of those, and they probably did, and Emma Day, you are at least suspicious, saying, did my friend send this? There are people in the world that are saying, oh my goodness, Larry is in Argentina? What's he doing in Argentina? I just saw him at coffee 2 weeks ago at the Starbucks. I better help him. Here is $100. And there are people that do that. That's why they keep doing it, because it's effective. But only 1% of 1%. But that's enough. That's a free $100 I just got.
So that's not called aware. That's just called phishing or something,
That's
whatever.
exactly right. Yes, that's exactly right. I deal with this a lot, where they get really sophisticated. The sophisticated ones are the ones you have to worry about. So let's say if you know somebody who works at Bank of America, or you know somebody that has a wellsfargo.com email address. You probably have some friends that have wellsfargo.coms. Those people are very valuable, because they can then send out an email. You know, if I got access to one of their accounts, I could then start to talk a bank talk. I could say something like, Emma Day, this is John over at Wells Fargo. We are really upset. We're embarrassed to say this, but there's been a security breach. We need you to go and log in to wellsfargo.com right now to just check your balance and make sure everything's good. Please let us know if you have any questions at 1-800 you just got scammed. But then you go to the site, the link that they provided, and it's not wellsfargo.com, it's wellsfargo.com, because this company bought wellsfargo.com, and you don't even notice it, or wellsfargo with 3 L's.com. And now they've gotten you to a website that has a username and a password entrance. You are thinking, well, this person sent it to me, so maybe there's something wrong with my account. You enter your username, your password. They are phishing, and they just caught you. Because if you enter your username and your password, that's where there's trouble. And that happens all the time. So I tell Windows users, don't click on links inside emails that you're not expecting. And if you're a Mac user, that's a good philosophy, to not click on a link, but the harm for you Mac users is not coming because you clicked on the link. The harm is coming once you get to the site it takes you to, and now you are fooled into thinking you just clicked a PayPal link, or you just clicked a Wells Fargo link, or a Bank of America link. Yes, sir, Daryl.
Scotty, there's some SSL socket stuff that's coming out recently on Windows. Do we have to worry about that?
Not that I know of. SSL stands for Secure Sockets Layer. Secure Sockets Layer, that SSL, that's an added layer of encryption between two computers. So if Daryl and I think we both use GoDaddy as our mail servers for our email. Is that right, Daryl? You use GoDaddy?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, whatever email service that he and I might use, that email service might say we also offer SSL. So if you, and don't go playing around with this if you don't really know what you're doing, because if you click SSL and your mail doesn't require SSL, you might be kind of messing things up. Let's see, iCloud has SSL. I don't know if you can see my screen. Google has SSL. AOL has SSL. There's lots, but SSL is very common. It's just another level of protection. Court, did you have a simpler question that we might be able to answer? Any other?
No, not right now. My kids are telling me that I'm trying to figure out why I can't hear it on the earbuds, and that's a really simple question. Why can't I hear it on the earbuds into the back of the desktop?
If you plugged into the back of the desktop, in system preferences, there is an ability to send out where your audio goes. Now, when you plug it up, it should go to the earbuds automatically. Oh, you know what it could be?
That's what I thought.
There are two plugs, Court, on the back of that computer. There's an input and an output. You might be plugged into the microphone port instead of the headphone port.
Oh, I think you're right. You're right.
Yeah, excellent. So now you can hear
that's
me.
better.
Yeah. By the way, Court, your kids
Yes.
can't hear us right now. Is that correct?
You guys can't hear it, right? Yeah,
All right,
correct.
good. Let's talk
I
about it.
can't.
How old is your
Yeah,
oldest?
exactly.
How old is your oldest, Court?
I actually, well, he's not here. He's 20.
Okay, but you've got some young ones in the house as well, though.
So a 20-year-old, but I have a 16 and a 13-year-old sitting next to me. Yeah.
Okay, well, that 13-year-old, let's talk about the 13-year-old. Everybody in the room here knows how I am about parenting. If you have absolutely nothing to do, and this would also be fantastic for you to read before we meet with each other, because some of the answers that you're looking for might be in this. Now, you are an aged veteran. If you have a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old, you've already lived through, well, you know what I mean, the internet age and raising a child on the internet. But with the 13-year-old lives in a completely different world now than the 16-year-old did. And while the 16-year-old probably has a little bit more awareness and is calmed down in that person's world, the 13-year-old is a boy or a girl? Boy, okay. Generally, I try to scare the ever-living daylights out of the parents of 13-year-old girls more than boys. But if you're interested, I did write a very long and in-depth newsletter in parenting, and it's in my newsletter section. So if you go there and click on Parenting in Today's Tech, you can read that. It's very long, but like I said, you probably know a lot of this already because you've already lived through it. But if you're bored out of your mind and you want to read that,
Like
having
you
a
said, I mean, it
was very good,
different.
Scotty. I read it, even though I don't have little ones.
Great, well, thanks.
Okay, no, I will.
Yeah,
Because I can tell a difference 3 years makes.
absolutely.
It's amazing.
They don't tell their mother anything.
Right. I'm a pretty good, spy though. I'm a pretty good hacker.
Oh, that's good.
Good.
That's
I have a couple little tests in that newsletter, so I'd be interested to see if you pass the tests. All right, well, anybody else want to jump in while we have a couple of extra seconds here?
well. What am I going to do about that hard drive being full?
Your hard drive is not
It
full in a
says
day.
so in my mail. It says so.
No, well, I guarantee you, I know your hard drive's not full in a day. Unless you have been going on, in a day, you could have been going online and downloading a lot of illegal movies or
I probably have, yeah. I love those wonderful illegal movies.
yeah,
Like I know what to do with them.
if you went online and downloaded the entire Andy Griffith series, all 7
I
seasons
love
of it.
Andy.
What'd you say?
I love Andy Griffith.
Yeah, me too. I do. I love it. I just finished all the seasons, and I'm going back and starting over from the first season and watching
Oh, I
it through
love
again. Yeah. So, Court, if you want to do anything to raise a child right, make them watch Andy Griffith. That's all you have to do. It's the bi-
Yes, exactly.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, Emma Day, your hard drive's not full. There is something else that's going on, but I guarantee you it's not your
Well,
hard
I've
drive.
done something terrible because I can't get the pictures. I've messed up the text.
Now,
I don't know.
well, I don't disagree that you've done something terrible. Now, Emma Day has a history.
know.
Court Emma Day has this history of going in under the hood. This is. I'm gonna Emma Day. I'm gonna
I
pick on you
do.
for a second. I'm gonna pick on you.
Okay, it's true.
All right.
I
This
admit it.
this is how I would describe Emma Day. If she were a car owner, of course I'm sure she owns a car, but let's say she's driving down the road, she's on her way to Atlanta on the interstate, and everything's going great, and she says, you know what, I think I'm going to pull over at a rest stop, open up my engine, and start pulling wires all out, and just move things and unplug things, and now my car's not starting. Now, Emma Day is the kind of person she
Right.
digs through and she goes into the depths of the computer and she really starts changing things around. And that's what's happened, Emma
Yeah.
Day. I'm going to feel very confident. I think that you have caused something that we'll be able to solve.
I will be so glad if you can fix it.
Have I ever not been able to
Oh
fix it?
my. No, but I'll tell you something. Y'all need to remember this part. I had my computer charging when we were in Florida, and my husband plugged in his in the same two-socket thing, and mine just blew up. It wouldn't do anything. And I got back, and luckily I had about 2 days left on Apple Help. And I thought it was absolutely gone. And somebody answered the phone and said, push this and this and this. It was not working at all. It wouldn't do anything.
But they gave you a set
And
of
he said it was protecting itself.
Yeah, they gave you a set of buttons to push, and it started back up just fine. So the words
Somehow.
blew up, not physically like smoke. It just cut off, right?
Well, it felt like it did, but they also said if you might have to go and put your password and name and everything again.
Maybe, but probably not.
I
What
don't
they
know
did
why.
was they told you, Emma Day, a series of buttons to hold down and then push the power button. And when they told you to do that over
Yeah.
the phone, you reset something in your computer called the PMU. The PMU stands for Power Management Unit. And when that reset, the computer woke back up and said, oh, I have a battery again. So probably what happened, Emma Day, is there was a voltage spike. In other words, the computer was expecting, let's say, I'm going to make up some numbers. The computer was expecting to get 12 volts. But instead, the computer got 6 volts. Or the computer got 14 or 15 volts. Now, you don't want to put 14 or 15 volts into a computer that's expecting 12 volts. It will blow up. So there is a safety feature on most computers and most hardware these days that says when I get more volts than I'm supposed to get, cut off. Don't do anything because we want to save ourselves. And that PMU or that power management unit stopped. So you're probably exactly right. The wattage went up or down. That's called brown power. We see that a lot in the summertime when we have lightning storms or when your lights flicker and all of a sudden, I used to work at the Apple Store long ago in 2004, and I could guarantee after every storm in the summertime, people would bring in their computer saying, it doesn't work, it blew up, saying exactly what you just said. And I would go over and I would find the magic button and I would push it and I was their hero because I knew where that button was. Like, oh my gosh, you got it back working again. It's because it saved itself. Because in the summertime with all those the strikes and things, your power goes up and down, and that's brown power. It's not clean. It's dirty power, and we all have it in our homes. All right?
Into the same socket.
Yeah.
Is that dangerous?
Well, not dangerous really, just inconvenient more than anything. Now, I don't have one around here. What's dangerous is using power supplies that are from an unreputable company. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, Scotty, I could buy a power adapter from my MacBook Pro for $89 from the Apple Store, or I could buy one on eBay from China for $20. Why can't I just get the one from China? And I say, you absolutely can get the one from China if you don't mind your house possibly burning down. I've bought many of those cheap power adapters, and I've got some laying around here, and while I use them because they're cheap and I'm very frugal, they melt. I mean, you look at the box, where the wire plugs in. Those things will just melt because they didn't have to go through the same certifications that Apple had to put through. It's made in another country that they were not regulated by the FCC or whoever regulates that stuff, so they could sell it for $20 or $19 or whatever. Versus all the testing that Apple has to go through. That's why it's more expensive. So the moral of the story here is when you buy one of those USB chargers, make sure it's from a company that has good reviews, and you need to put a little bit of money into it. If you're spending $10 on a USB adapter, a dual USB adapter maybe, then it's probably crap. But if you're spending...
I'm glad you
But
told me.
the mainline ones like Belkin and those are fine.
Yeah,
right?
Belkin's good. There's something called Shark. Something Shark is another good one. All of those are fine. Griffin is another really good one. But, Amazon, a quick search at Amazon will tell you about that. Guys, I'm going to get out of here tonight. I'm going to get back to my family. Thanks for coming. I will send a reminder out next week, and I'll have a lot more people. All right, we'll see you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Gotti, I'll go ahead and schedule that, but I didn't know if